Hello, I'm back, and today we will be reviewing Doctor Who Season 33, Sylvester McCoy's third season as the 7th Doctor. First up, we have The Fearmonger. This story I actually really like. I think it's some of those stories with Ace that really encapsulates what the Doctor and Ace are about, and how their dynamic within the story itself are very literal and why they happen. It also has a cameo from David Tennant, who plays, I think, a different character in the Fearmonger. But it's a very impactful story, and you just gotta watch it. Honestly, you just gotta watch it, and yeah, it's just really good, really fascinating Doctor Who story. I highly recommend it. Mwah. Pure perfection. Next we have The Genocide Machine. Another really good Doctor Who story. I think this story is mainly about Ace and the Doctor, and basically the Daleks as a whole in this story are brilliantly written, and I think brilliantly paced for a Doctor Who story. Although I do think there are some not so great moments in The Genocide Machine. However, saying that, story is in itself is a brilliant story, and I highly recommend this story to anyone. To any Doctor Who fan, it gets an A-OK from me. Next we have Dust Breeding, another really good Doctor Who story with Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred as the 7th Doctor and Ace. However, I don't think this is the best example of the season, however. It's a good story, don't get me wrong, but there are some things in the story I really don't like, and it just doesn't feel like a Doctor Who story to me. It felt like an alien space opera, which doesn't really work for Doctor Who. Well, not in this story, but in other stories it doesn't really work, if you get what I'm talking about. Although Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred, in their roles, they are very good in their respective roles. I do like this story, but there are some things in there I just can't stand. So, it's not a good story for me. Next we have Colditz. Now, it's an odd choice of a story, because it sets itself specifically, and hear me out, specifically in... how do I say this? Specifically, it sets itself in World War II in Nazi Germany. Now, I think the Doctor and Ace in this story, it works perfectly well, considering we had a story set in World War II last season. It was called The Curse of Fenric, which was also very good. I said it was also overrated, didn't I? Colditz, it's the same with this one. It's the same with that one. It's a very good Doctor Who story, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it for these type of stories, if I'm honest. And this is me. This is a Doctor Who fan who's going and look at these Doctor Who stories and saying, well, it doesn't really work with this Doctor, but how does it work with this Doctor? You know. So you just got to try and piece it together. I think Colditz, it's a good story. Just not my type of Doctor Who story, unfortunately. Sorry, Colditz, you're not my favourite. Sorry. Next we have The Rapture. Now, The Rapture, it's a good Doctor Who story, but I just don't think it works, and purely, I think it's shit. I think it's so incredibly bad, and that the writers did not know what to do with any of its plots or any of its characters, although Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred really tried to nail it, but unfortunately for me, this is not the 7th Doctor's greatest moments. It's one of his least favourites, if from my point of view, unfortunately. Sorry. Next we have Prisoner's Dilemma. Now, it's a good story, but I just don't think it's another one of those. It's another one of those Seth McCoy stories where it's good and then it becomes bad. You know, like the Rapture, or like the Genocide Machine, you know, or like colditz, you know, or like dust breeding. It's just one of those stories that I just don't like. But I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying it's not as good as I hoped that the story, you know, would become. Or no, I think it's a good story. I just think it needed a better plot and a better premise. Then the story would have been really, really good if it just had different elements and not just some shitty elements like that. Sorry. Next we have Ice Time. Now, Ice Time, like the rest of them, it's very, very good. I actually like this story. It's one of my favourites from this season. It's overall a very enjoyable Doctor Who story. I think the Ice Warriors are pretty damn good in it. I think Ace and the Doctor are amazing. And overall, I think it is just purely a really, 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 really good Doctor Who story. Really, really good. I just want more stories like this. I just want more. And if Doctor Who can give me more of the same stories like this, then maybe I can get into it. And then maybe we'll have a really, really good season. I just really, really hope that the next season's like this. And finally, for this season, we have Shockwave. I really, 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 really like this Doctor Who story. I like the Doctor, and I like Ace. Practically, I like all the elements of this Doctor Who story. And I think it's a very fitting end for an alright season, in my personal opinion. It's a good story. So that was Doctor Who's season 33. Join me next time for season 34, when we meet Rain and Hex.